Hi fellas, we hear a lot these days, especially from the Labour Party, from the far left, the hard left, the Marxist, career people who are doing very well, got big mortgages and drive around in Audis. We hear very much that it's a woman's choice. It's only a woman's choice regarding termination and abortion. Well, that's true, I guess. It's their bodies. I mean, if they get drunk one night and do something they weren't intending to, I've been there. I've been there many years ago. It is their choice, but I think they should really understand, especially with late-term abortions, because in the UK we've got some of the most harsh, barbaric abortion laws in the world. We allow abortions up to 5.5 months, 24 weeks, and they can add a couple of weeks on to that without, nobody's going to find out, nobody's going to tell. Do people realise the barbarity of this? How they rip their legs off, rip their arms off, crush the skull? No wonder President Trump and most of the Republicans are against it, and this is done for nothing, free, by the British NHS and Mary Stopes and numerous other charities, money-making charities. Yeah, the cost of a D&E or D&C, as it's variously called, this is like dilation and evacuation. This is opening the womb and dragging out the body parts and crushing the skull. This is the truth of a late-term abortion. I think you should know about it if you're going to go for it. I mean, they obviously hide the true horror of it because the woman's under anaesthetic and she won't know what's being done to this fetus, which it's been proven can certainly feel pain about 20 weeks onwards. And there have been several 20 and 24 week babies which have survived. There was one dug out of literally pulled out of a drain in India the other day, a little baby boy who would have called Freedom, who this poor young mum probably gave birth to it down the toilet and then flushed this away. Pretty reprehensible, isn't it? But I know they have a hard life in India. But just in case you didn't know, the true facts of the D&C, the later type abortion, not the vacuum, which is done earlier on. Also the late abortion pill. You can take the abortion pill up to 24 weeks, lie to your husband, partner, say you had a miscarriage and literally flush it down the toilet. Yeah, this is what's happening in the UK now and has been doing for years. So have a look and you can watch the full video of this guy. It's called Second Trimester Abortion. And this guy speaking has done about 1,200 of them before seeing the light. Okay, so you guys, make your own mind up. Is this a moral good thing to be giving out for nothing? And likewise with the abortion pills, which cost about £350. They're handing them out like candy in the UK, and they have been for years. But they want to drag in vast numbers of migrants to replace these chav babies. Okay, terrible. See you guys. Bye bye.
My name is Dr. Anthony Levatino. I'm a practicing obstetrician gynecologist, and I've performed over 1,200 abortions. Today I'm going to describe a second trimester surgical abortion called dilatation and evacuation, or D&E. A D&E is performed between 13 and 24 weeks of pregnancy. After administering anesthesia, the abortionist uses a weighted speculum, like this one, that opens the vagina widely. Because second trimester babies are so large, this greater access facilitates a late-term abortion. Late-term abortion requires that the cervix be prepared 24 to 48 hours in advance with laminaria. Laminaria is a type of sterilized seaweed that absorbs water over 8 to 12 hours and swells to several times its original diameter. Once removed, metal dilators can be used to further open the cervix as needed. Once the cervix has been stretched open, the suction tube is placed inside. A baby at 20 weeks gestation is as big as the length of my hand, from head to rump, not counting the legs. The suction machine is turned on, and pale yellow amniotic fluid surrounding the baby is suctioned out through the catheters. With babies this big, they don't fit through catheters this size. The baby's bones and skull are too strong to be torn apart by suction alone. This is a Sofer clamp. A Sofer clamp is made of stainless steel. It's about 13 inches long. The business end is about 2.5 inches long and 1/2 inch wide, and there are rows of sharp teeth. This is a grasping instrument. When it gets a hold of something, it does not let go. The abortionist uses this clamp to grasp an arm or leg. Once he has a firm grip, the abortionist pulls hard in order to tear the limb from the baby's body. One by one, the rest of the limbs are removed. along with the intestines, the spine, and the heart and lungs. Usually the most difficult part of the procedure is extracting the baby's head, which is about the size of a large plum at 20 weeks. The head is grasped and crushed. The abortionist knows he has crushed the skull when a white substance comes out of the cervix. This was the baby's brains. The abortionist then removes skull pieces. He removes the placenta and any leftover parts of the baby with a curette, scraping the lining of the uterus for any remaining tissue. The abortionist then collects the baby parts and reassembles them to make sure that there are 2 arms, 2 legs, and all the pieces. Once all the parts have been accounted for, the abortion is complete. For the woman, this procedure carries a significant risk of major complications, including perforation or laceration of the uterus or cervix, with possible damage to the bowel, bladder, and other maternal organs. Infection and hemorrhage can also occur, which can even lead to death. Future pregnancies are also at greater risk for loss or premature delivery due to abortion-related trauma and injury to the cervix. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm Dr. Anthony Levatino, and in the early part of my career as an OBGYN, I performed over 1,200 abortions. One day, after completing one of those abortions, I looked at the remains of a preborn child whose life I had ended, and all I could see was someone's son or daughter. I came to realize that killing a baby at any stage of pregnancy for any reason is wrong. I want you to know today, no matter where you're at or what you've done, you can change. Make a decision today to protect the preborn. Thank you for your time.
I will no longer do any more abortions. When you finally figure out that killing a baby that big for money is wrong, that it doesn't take you too long to figure out it doesn't matter if the baby is this big or this big or this big or maybe even this big, it's all the same. And I haven't done any since then, and I never will.